Hello, everybody, and welcome yourselves to the second day of the European Winter Cup. We're here for the group stage to bring us down to 14th for tomorrow's playoffs. And yesterday we had some quality action, and it's just going to get even better from here on out. I can say that for certain. My name is Faded, and joining me on the caster desk tonight for this game is Muzz. How are you today, man?
Yeah, faded. Good. Yeah, yesterday, fantastic Rocket League coming out and continuation today. Yeah, it's going to be good stuff.
Yeah, it will be good stuff. So our first match on the stream for today, we're gonna have three in total, but to start us off, we'll have Fearless Esports up against Up the Dale for our first match. And coming into this tournament, these two were placed as the fourth and fifth seeds, so you can't expect a close matchup in this one. And to go over the lineups for these two, quickly bring them up. We've got Pluto, Pander, and Starscream on Fearless Esports, a full Swedish roster. And then up the deal, we have Messi, Filthy Peanut, and Impetus. Two strong lineups we have here. Of course, a bunch of people I've seen the ECC, notably Starscream from Yeppers, and then you have Messi and Peanut. I think it was from Victory Esports last season was. So we've got some familiar faces coming into this one, at least, when you consider in the ECC. These are people that we do know and have quite a bit of experience playing in our leagues here.
Yeah, I think just a couple of teams and a couple of players are pretty excited for just general EU Rocket League, whether it's long form leagues, whether it's just a couple Winter Cups like this, fun stuff. If we, take a look at the results from yesterday, I mean, Fearless Esports, they're coming in today pretty hot off of that 3-0 win against Emerge Charlie. Of course, Emerge Charlie, another kind of one of those ECC teams we know that are pretty decent faded. So they gave them a good run for their money there. I mean, game two, 7-3. So pretty decent drumming coming out from that Fearless side, and then a much closer matchup up the Dale, only beating Serious Business 3-2. Right, that went all the way, and then only a one goal difference going towards up the Dale there in game five. So I think it's going to be pretty close, as you mentioned, faded, and hopefully all the way to game five, and some titillating Rocket League here this evening.
Yeah, indeed. I want to highlight that Up the Deal and Serious Business series because I really did not expect that to go all the way to a fifth. I thought Up the Deal would be able to go through more easily. They did so nonetheless, but you look at the scorelines, quite a lot of closely contested games, especially that fifth game, a 3-2 victory for Up the Deal. So I'm sure they'll be wanting to step it up, and they've got to do so against Fearless Esports. They're one of the top sides in the Swedish scene actually. Um, I know Pluto and Panda, they've played quite a bit together. Not sure how much they played with Starscream in particular. But I mean, of course, they have the Sergey, all of them Swedish. They're communicating in their native language after all, which does help matters a lot for them. So yeah, and I would say they're actually a more established side than this Up the Dale roster. As I said before, of course, Messi and Pino, they do have the experience. And for Impetus, I don't know how much they've played with him, but yeah, we'll have to see. Because sure they made it through to here today, but they could have definitely made it a little easier on themselves. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, I mean, I think up the Dale, at least if anything, off that Serious Business series, we can see they've got a bit of resilience to bounce back. Kind of they were leapfrogging throughout that series, and so even if maybe games one and two happen to go the way of Fearless Esports, we know that a team like Up the Dale can at least bounce back and maybe claw a victory from the mouth of defeat. So we're going to see what happens there. I think an exciting best of five series faded. And tell me, there's a little bit of cash money tomorrow on Championship Sunday, isn't that right?
Yeah, that is correct. We do have a €210 prize pool for this tournament. 150 will be going to the champions, 60 to the runners up. So, yeah, not bad for a weekend of Rocket League here. Get yourself a bit of that prize pool. If you do manage to come out on top or at least make it as far as the finals in this. So, yeah, there is quite a bit to play for this. Of course, we want it to be that way. With such a long tournament over 3 days, sure it's only a couple hours on each day, but it can be a little grueling, especially for teams that aren't used to playing out this long. But of course, I don't think that's going to be a concern for the teams we have currently in the group stage. They're used to playing these bracketed tournaments here. So, yeah, there's a lot to play for. And of course, we get those best of sevens tomorrow. So, we get to really see the best out of these teams. Of course, those series can feel like a bit of a marathon run at times. So, yeah, it's going to be a bit of a test for the teams that actually make it as far as Sunday.
Yeah, and of course, one of these teams, if they go through, then they can either play B plus choke or disguised Evoid. They're playing against each other now in a best of 5, and so one of those teams would, of course, go through to our next matchup. We'll get roughly around 6:45 CET time. Faded, are we going to get these very tardy teams into our lobbies?
Yeah, they will be coming in fairly soon. They just have to check in. They've got a couple minutes to do so, but not to worry. I made sure they're on it, so they will be here very, very soon. So yeah, they will be here soon. Don't worry. And I think actually that is one team checked in Updale Orange, so we're just waiting on Fearless Esports. Of course, running down the clock a little bit, so they've really got to get a move on and do want to be playing. But don't you worry, everyone. We'll have them in before you know it. Of course, we do understand teams maybe need to take their time in this. But anyway, we need to ask the age-old question, Muzz, and I'll be putting it towards you for this. Predictions. Who do you think is going to be winning out in this match? Of course, I know it's going to be perhaps a bit difficult to see. We've not seen these two play at all, really, and a very closely matched. So who do you think is going to come out with the victory in this one?
Yeah, tough to say, but if we just take a look at how round 2 went and kind of who was able to pull off a sweep, I'm going to say Fearless Esports were able to pick up the W here, Faded. I think Up the Dale seemed to, go the long, far distance there with serious business. So let's say, at least for me personally, I'm going to say Fearless Esports. Hopefully it's going to be a good fixture. Let's go to game 5 as well. But definitely Fearless should be able to pick up this win and get through.
All right, I respect that prediction, but I think to make it interesting, I'll go the opposite side. I still think it will be a game 5, but I'm going to go with Up the Dale for this one. Maybe a slight bit of bias. I mean, I'm friends with Starscream and also Messi and Peanut, but I think just for the sake of making it interesting, I'll do that. So I think Up the Dale will go in. Of course, I got to respect the name and the logo that you lovely folks will get to see on stream. I mean, they've probably got the best logo one of the best logos I've seen in ECC, to be honest. I know this is not an ECC tournament per se, but it will be great. So you'll get to see it in just a moment here. But yeah, that really sets the scene. Both of us predicting a game 5 here, Buzz. I do like to see that.
Oh yeah, I mean, 100% Faded. I think let's go the distances, push it. We know both these teams can do it. We saw Up the Dale against Serious Business. They pushed the distance. Yeah, Fearless Esports, they kind of drummed out Emerge Charlie quite quickly. But that's fine. Even if we get a game 4, right? Let's get a game 4. Up the Dale, take off one game. I don't think it's going to be an early game. I kind of see game 1 going towards Fearless Esports. They're probably going to be one of those teams where they just come out firing and probably score a couple early goals. I'm sure within the first 45 seconds even. And they'll probably hold like a 2-1 lead until the end. And then, yeah, either games 2 or 3 going to Up the Dale. And let's see if we can't get a 4 something or even push to game 5. I think it would be fun, Faded. I mean, it ends up being fun for chat, fun for us. So overall, it's good stuff.
It will be good stuff. But the players are in, so we're not going to waste any more time. We're just going to get the players right into the action. I'm sure they're very eager to go. So here we are, people. We are here for our first match of the day. Up the Dale and Fearless Esports facing off against each other. Let's see how this one will go. Muzz, take it away.
Yeah, and already we do see Panda there, Pluto, pushing this ball down here, that flank Faded. Already we can, we see this side here. Who's here in orange?
In orange, it is Fearless Esports.
Alright, so Fearless Esports already almost kind of helping me along here, Faded, and trying to get a really early offensive pressure and, trying to pressure Up the Dale here. But now, of course, Up the Dale already holding this ball across the midway line, and they're trying to threaten Pluto at the back. He's going to push it over. Oh, decent beat over Imp. Nice, you see him trying to get up to that ball and couldn't do much with it, Faded.
Yeah, indeed. So really, it's up to Dale trying to set the place first. Of course, they find themselves in 1.5 currently. It's actually a good pass to start to into player back at the Starscream, but in with a great save in the follow-up. It's what by P. So already the Swedes trying to bring out some of those passing plays, but it is shut down well by Up the Dale. So very nicely done from those guys. And they're seeing Pluto trying to figure this out. Imp though, solid 50-50. Panner forced to save, but it's a poor touch actually, so it allows Messi a free look at it, but it is taken through that backboard. And now it's Up the Dale trying to put some of that pressure of their own. Pluto on his own backboard. Yeah, again, another clearance, but see Up the Dale doing a good job of holding down this midfield currently, getting two of those balls, and now we're seeing Starscream finally manage to break it down. It is an infield pass. Pluto back to Starscream, and the shot just wide of the mark again. You see Fearless Esports linking up quite well here, but it is still being held down well by Up the Dale. And as I say that, another pass forward, and unable to put it on net though.
Yeah, 3 shots already between this Fearless Esports side. I mean, they try to do something there between Starscream and Pluto and just not able to sink the ball. There it is, Mr. Messi takes the shot.
Yeah, Mr. Messi takes a shot, and he will put it into the back of the net, more importantly. Lovely from Imp finding Messi in the midfield, just being out that defender. So they found their opportunity. Finally, they're able to link up, get that shot into the net. So Up the Dale able to go up first. And really a closely contested game to start things out here, Muzz. Both these teams having their fair share of chances. So this goes to show, the seeding does for once actually reflect how closely matched these teams are. And as we're going to see here, Pandar by his lonesome wins that 50, gets the follow-up, and will tie us back up.
Yeah, Starscream with the beautiful pass into the midfield. Then, of course, Panda, I think, beaten out Imp, who had the poor 50 and, of course, slotted into the back. I mean, prior to this goal, they faded. It was really only 3 shots to 2 between both these teams, and that kind of is how closely contested it is, as you mentioned. So, both these teams trying to apply a bit of offensive pressure against one another, and there Mr. Messi taking another shot here for the Up the Dale side. And, just kind of decent back and forth play so far. It's not kind of guns blazing for Fearless Esports as I predicted for game 1 here, but I mean, of course, there's the equalizer between these teams, and Imp takes a shot, and there we go, breaks that headlock.
Yeah, from one to set up the first goal, now going to be the goal scorer here. I've got to say, from Peanut, it was a lovely fight to begin with, get to pass the second defender as well, and it's perfect into Imp, who could put it behind that goalkeeper. So yeah, again, well played by Up the Dale. Some of that individual brilliance, and now that seems to be a double fake from Up the Dale, and it might actually result in them getting at least an opportunity. It is shut down by Panda though, but interesting strategy coming up Up the Dale. I do know they're playing this more for fun, so they can play a little bit more loose. They don't have to stress as much, and even then they find themselves 2-1 up in this. But Fearless Esports are going to try and come back into this, but that's an easy shot for him to deal with. Panda now putting on the pressure. He will actually dip it down into Starscream. It is a 50-50, but in the end, it's just game over for Messi. As soon as that 50 happened, it was going to be a goal.
I mean, Imp is doing so much work on this Up the Dale side as well. He's already got the 550 points with 4 saves. So I mean, any kind of shots that Fearless Esports have taken, Imp is there just to push them out. Yeah, they've got the equalizer once again now, and we've got 4 goals up on the scoreboard. But I mean, Imp is really doing just fantastic work here and grind on the side of this Up the Dale team. And you said, yeah, they're kind of playing to the memes, and if they win, great, but they're not expecting to. They're coming out firing here against this Fearless Esports team, and like you said, up and now up again twice in this first game already. A goal there through Mr. Messi.
Yeah, Messi getting on the board now, and it is Peanut again. Brilliant pass into Messi, and he gets put over that goalkeeper. So, Up the Dale, that's what I like from them. They're allowed to play a little bit more loose, and that's maybe how Imp in particular can get himself involved so much. It's given that freedom to pretty much do what he wants, and when they have not much pressure on them here, not any pressure themselves, they can play more freely. And that allows them to find these opportunities that they are getting, and really it is perhaps being a bit of a nuisance for those esports here, because they kind of don't know what to expect. They say they're so free-flowing coming into this, so that is maybe a bit difficult for those esports to deal with, maybe at least a bit more established. And as we approach this final minute, it's Up the Dale with that lead. Of course, to see that can be snatched away from them in such short times. It's M with the flip reset. Messi ready and waiting. He puts it off the bar. No follow-up. That would have been a wonderful play for one in. Regardless, still, it is Upthedale holding the lead. But this counter-attack's coming in. Pluto, this next wide open, but he goes for the double tap, and he will actually convert it. Lovely play there. Maybe it could have been a bit at some point, but nonetheless, beautifully executed.
Yeah, beautiful double touch there coming out from Pluto. Beautiful read off the backboard. And of course, pass in field there from Panda. It's a nice, decent read there between the teammates here of Fearless Esports. And just we can see this leapfrog again faded when they're just up and down, back and forth between both these teams when they're scoring. And, you know, Fearless Esports at least not out of this game one just yet, as they always seem to be able to come back from any type of goal that Upthedale puts on against them. And Imp scored such a phenomenal goal earlier. He's passing down to Mr. Messi to score. Now Imp again. Oh man, the aerial control there coming up on this Upthedale side here. Last 30 seconds remaining of regulation time faded. I mean, 6 goals already up for game number 1. I mean, it's kind of not what you'd expect.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect, you know, such a scoreline, to be honest. But, you know, it is a first game. So, you know, it's a bit more explosive. Both the teams are just getting into it. Perhaps not that warmed up. So, you know, you think maybe they're not playing at their absolute best, and so this is them getting into the series. And they'll have a bit more time to warm up here as we are into our overtime. So we will have a golden goal to decide game 1 who go ahead in the series. The Starscream to take advantage first. Was trying to make some kind of play on his own, but he has taken out. He didn't have much boost to the tank. In fact, there was none at all. And now it's off the corner wall. It is empty to go in with Messi. A bit caught at the back, but Peanut can at least slow it down, allow the teammates to get back in position. Now Messi coming through. The flick over one. The 50 on the second. Panda having to cut in to get that one away, and then there's a bit of chaos in the midfield. Pluto, let's see if he can make another one of these plays. He can force the 50 at least. He gets it into the corner, so they keep control. Infield pass not going to be successful, and Messi will clear that to safety.
Yeah, Starscream there with a beautiful touch to get up and just block it as out the way. You know, both these teams kind of vying for possession, trying to hold into this ball a bit longer, just so they're able to force out that golden goal and try go through to game number 2. And you know, it's just a bit of back and forth between both these teams as we get into our first 1 minute of overtime here. And you know, no one really taking too much more of an advantageous position to try score on the other. And you know, we're just seeing this Clang has gone all the way downfield, no kind of real control, no big position. Imp with the shot. Oh, Imp with the shot.
Imp with the shot, Imp with the goal, and it was a bit of a mess, to be fair, for the Fearless side, but Imp takes advantage, places it well, gets the goal, and they will take the 1-0 advantage up the Dale. Perhaps the team, a lot of people maybe doubt it's coming into this one. They get themselves the victory, but my word, Imp, we have to talk about him. 850 points, he put in a real shift for his Up the Dale team.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, I was kind of saying that already midway through game number 1. I was just noticing Imp doing so much work on the ground. 4 saves already, kind of when, you know, this was like kind of 2:30 of the game. We were hardly anywhere through, and then just so much work coming out from Imp. I mean, well-deserved win there, of course, securing that goal at the end as well. I mean, Imp seems to be just carrying this Up the Dale side here. And Fearless Esports, you know, I'm still pegging them to win. It seems, you know, they were able to kind of take out Image Charlie quite thoroughly. But, you know, I did mention the grit of this Up the Dale side here. They seem to be able to take it through to the kind of the business end of a series faded. So we're going to see what happens here. Does Imp have a little bit more inside the backpack, so to speak? We'll have to see.
Yeah, we will have to see. We're going into game 2 now, so we'll see what more Imp has to offer. It's quite the way to set a pace, I will say that. With such a great game. We're now going to be advancing into game number 2 here, and we'll see if Imp can continue his absolutely stellar performance so far, as we are kicking off on Forbidden Temple here. Lovely map, as we are going to see Peanut taking possession straight away from the kickoff. He loses control though, and Messi will actually cut in, but this is so risky. Imp will have to cut in for this. That's good. He buys his team a little bit of time. Now Peanut will clear it long downfield. Messi coming into the play now. He doesn't quite get contact on the ball, but he at least forces it high. Forces 2 defenders to jump, and now Peanut trying to make something of this, but really so far it's just empty threats for the Up the Dale side. They are able to get the possession, sure, but You know, the Esports are whipping into their opponent's side aren't really of much threat currently. Now we're seeing Peanut. That is a huge clear up to him as he is unable to get contact. It very nearly goes in there. And so now the counter-attack comes through. A good 50-50 from Peanut, sorry, on Pluto. And now couldn't find Messi in the field. And he had a wide open net. He will score that up the Dale, continue that momentum, and find themselves one up.
Yeah, and I mean, finally, all that relentless pressure that they were applying onto this Fearless side, just an empty net at the back here from Mr. Messi. Kind of defensive rotations from Fearless Esports a bit lacking as they were caught in the midfield. Mr. Messi able to juke past them. Last defender, third man back. I'm not sure who it was, might have been Starscream or Pluto. But nonetheless, already up Dell, able to put on an early goal. Just again, all of that pressure that were applying faded. It had a result eventually in a goal, and I think, you know, Fearless Esports were lacking a little bit in the back defense there, and something they need to tighten up a bit on.
Yeah, they will have to tighten up on that. I was noticing the defensive rotations, you know, they were okay, but there were times where they were getting caught out. Where you saw some of those infield passes, sure they were great from up the Dale, but you feel like if the positioning was a little better, they would have been able to prevent those chances from happening. So because Esports, it is a weakness we are seeing out of them, they will need to improve upon it, because at the moment, up the Dale are doing a great job of exploiting that, and we're now seeing Peanut trying to make something off this. Pluto, a good demo, Messi dives into the play, leaves him by himself. Peanut respawns, so he's able to cover for him, but it's not going to matter because Pluto by his lonesome. That is a filthy play that he's just pulled off right there.
Yeah, and Pluto just carries this ball basically all the way from the halfway line, gets a juke there over Fiddy P. Absolutely nasty flick over, and just this is always what we can find from the Fearless Esports side. They're always able just to have the rebuttal and bring it back. Yeah, Panda with the shot. Oh! So close, just, you know, they're able to equalize so quickly faded. You know, there's no chance that up the Dell even go one up for, you know, half a minute without Fearless Esports already getting one back. And, you know, we see that they're just so, you know, dangerous on a counter-attack. They need to try convert that into a lead though for once, and actually try get one over on up the Dale and try take one of these games.
Yeah, they are so crucial for like their mentality overall, where, you know, some of the series are like, oh, we just cannot get a lead. Sure, they can tie it up and that feels alright, but you want to be ahead if you feel it's Esports. And I feel like if they can't manage to do that all in this game, then, you know, game 3 is going to be so tough for them, because, you know, mentally that does wear you down if you're unable to just get one over on your opponents. Like, they're just always one step ahead, and it looks to still be that way. Messi is to clear it out into space, and Starscream going to take his time. He's got the control, but not great. He does at least get it into Pluto, but I imagine he was wanting to do a little more with that. As a Peanut attempts a shot, going to be easily dealt with by Starscream. Now Messi finds Peanut, but it's way too high. No way he can get up to that. Messi still continues though. He at least gets it into the corner, but now it's going to be cleared long. Starscream up for that. Imp going to be clearing it downfield as far as Panda. And now Messi up for this. He's got a double tap opportunity, but it is brilliantly blocked by Pluto. The ball from Peanut going to be, yeah, that's not what you really want. Drops it straight into the opposition to come for a counter attack. And now that down in the midfield, Messi going to chase onto it, but now with 90 seconds to go, Muzz starting to get a little more chaotic between these two, and really you got to feel like this next goal is going to be the winner more than likely.
Yeah, I mean, I see that happening, but, you know, Fearless Esports, they just need to tighten up at the back and make sure they don't allow Up the Dell in, because Up the Dell just seem to be holding on to a lot of the possession. You know, they're very aggressive in the face of Fearless Esports, and, you know, even from that corner earlier, we noticed that Starscream not able to confidently clear the ball and get rid of it, and, you know, just Up the Dale taking advantage of that and just making sure that they close them down. They're not even really allowing Fearless Esports to get across the halfway line. You know, they're just kind of blocking them out. You know, here a couple of big clangers go downfield where Mr. Messi has to play from his own side, but they easy flip over Pluto's head. And yeah, kind of scoring and shooting opportunities are kind of few and far in between here on the side of Fearless Esports. You know, yeah, they do have 5 between them, but just nothing that's going into the back of the net. So, you know, kind of in the doldrums right now, but it might go to another OT possibly.
Yeah, I would like to say another overtime, to be fair, but it might not happen. Starscream, I had the opportunity, but couldn't quite find the bottom left. There is another opportunity. Here comes Panda. with that pass to Pluto, but yet again blocks. Now in with a demo, opens up so much space, but Starscream's quickly closing it down. He delays it at least, but it's the final attack opportunity for Up the Dale. Peanut can't get the Doomsday Dish. Here comes Imp. He loses that 50-50. Now Starscream, can he make the heroic play? Looks to be no, but Messi, dangerous touches to the side, and it might allow Fearless Esports to actually keep this up. It's into the corner. Messi up for us now. Starscream, and what is going on net, but no time on the clock. And we're into our second overtime now.
Yeah, incredibly kind of last-ditch attempt. They're coming up from Fearless Esports. If they could just keep up the ball and slot to home, it would have been nice to get that buzzer beater. But, you know, fortunately, here we go. A second OT of the series and of our evening already. Imp, they're getting a decent demo out onto Pluto. And now, can we see, you know, if there's going to be continued relentless pressure from this Up the Dale side, or, you know, have Fearless Esports decided to kind of change the mentality and see if they can hold on to this ball a little bit more, as, you know, Imp was catching them on that midway line. Fiddy. Oh, backboard touch here, Pluto. Oh, kept out by Imp. Imp just seems to be everywhere on this field.
Yeah, he's all over the bit, isn't he? And he's been a real catalyst, I will have to say, for not for Imp. No, Imp's been the catalyst for Up the Dale, sorry. And I mean, you just see him doing so much for his team. Yeah, sure, he's all over the bit, but, you know, he's just, as long as he's putting in work everywhere on the field, and he's having that much impact. And it is a positive thing, I think, for this Up the Dale. Some people might call that ball chasing. Sure, call it what you like, but it is working out well for Up the Dale. It's at least getting them as far as, you know, putting them up in this series and making this a very competitive game. But of course, he's still got work to do if they want to get a victory out here. Same with the other two on that Up the Dale side, as they are in their opponent's half. Imp gets a touch, but not going to achieve a whole lot. As a Starscream bangs one towards net, Peanut has to put it out to the side. And now into the backboard. What can Pluto do with this? Not a whole lot. Messi has to take it. And now it will be taken out once more, as it is Up the Dale playing defense this time. This one going high the net, and it could be a chance. 2 players committing. Starscream to finish the job. Peanut gets it to the side. They just barely escaped with that one there.
Oh my goodness, this just would have been driven home there by Starscream and kept that over it side. Oh, Starscream! Well, there we go, sends it home and picks up a first game in the series here for Fearless Esports.
Yeah, finally getting it, and it's just a poor backward clearance for Peanut. To be fair to me, a no boost. He didn't have many options there, and really just had to take the risk and hope it worked out. So Fearless Esports equalised the series here. I must say, a much-needed win for them to finally get one over on Up the Dale after they've been struggling so long. And even with all those shots as well, I mean, what do you say about that, Muzz? Because, you know, with that many, I mean, 18 is what I'm counting there, compared to 5. That's completely and utterly ridiculous.
I mean, you know, Up the Dale, if we look at both Fiddy and Mr. Mesa, they've both picked up goal saviors, right? Like, they're doing such phenomenal work there at the back. Yeah, it just goes to show, like, this game was going to go down to the wire, you know, regardless. Like, yeah, Up the Dale got the OT goal through Imp, and now we've got Starscream getting the OT goal here for Fearless. Let's go to game 5, hopefully, right? Let's push this series deep. You know, these guys need to show us what they're made of. Let's see their metal. You know, Imp actually had the lowest score on his team this time around, you know, now Fiddy P stepping up with Mr. Messi. Again, you know, they both got those goal saviors, and so, man, there's just such decent rotations from these teams. They're shooting. I mean, look at the shots coming out there from Fearless. They were just absolutely banging it, but it just went wide, hitting the post, hitting crossbars, no accuracy. Not as much accuracy as I think they would have liked Faded, and maybe something they need to tighten up here on in game 3.
Yeah, indeed. And we are going to be going to game 3 right here. Of course, I will say for Up the Dale, their defense did look incredibly strong overall. They managed to get so many saves. It's just the, you know, they could stop many of those shots, and the pressure doesn't seem to face them much, but they want to be getting out more and really stopping Fearless in the tracks before they could get that far. And as we're seeing here, there was that bump, so it made things up for Up the Dale. They're able to still deal with it. So, you know, they are very strong in that regard, and we'll get to Up the Dale, but really they could do with trying to push Fearless back a little bit more, not allowing them any chances. Speaking of chances, Pluto had one there. Pesci had to get himself back to that one. So Starscream with the interesting car change. They're getting the Christmas boost going. I do like to see those Christmas themed cars, and now we're seeing Pluto trying to get more of it, and you can see there Up the Dale turtling up a little bit more, a bit clumped up in that defense, which might be a bit of concern, and he may get punished for it. Messi, as fast as he likes to go, he won't be able to beat Pluto to it, and it is Fearless Esports rewarded for their pressure with the first goal.
Yeah, and Imp not able to clear that ball from their own corner there. Starscream getting the nice little rebound touch for Pluto to score. And so we get to see Fearless Esports here picking up the first goal of a game in this series and finally taking a lead. Now hopefully they can extend this lead, get a second faded, and then try to get cushion in here against Up the Dale. Maybe not go to an OT again in this series here. Starscream taking another shot for his side. I mean, you were mentioning that just that like Fearless Esports had so many chances to shoot in the previous game, and I think we need to see Up the Dale not allowing them to have so much space and opportunity just to send bangers towards their net.
Yeah, indeed, because at this rate, the side of Up the Dale, they've been in a half pretty much the entirety of this game so far, and sure, we're only a minute into it, but they could do with getting themselves out more and finding some more opportunities, because now Fearless Esports are really starting to play a lot more aggressive, trying to smother their opposition in this one, and it won't work out because they know how dangerous Up the Dale side can be. And speaking of which, Messi gets a huge dunk on, I think it was Starscream in the defense. He just look at that again. Starscream just not a lot of options. He tries to clear it out, but Messi would just fall into the sky. He was going to get that dunk. He saw it coming from a mile off, and he will be able to get Up the Dale back into it now.
Yeah, Mr. Messi, they're just staying on that trajectory and making sure he's going to follow up on that ball. And unfortunately, awkward touch for Starscream, allowing Mr. Messi to pick up that second touch and put it into the back of the net. And just we've seen kind of throughout the series so far that none of these teams stay behind for a long time. And Fearless Esports definitely don't like to stay behind for a long time. Faded as Panda puts it home.
Yeah, he does. He really put Peanut in such a compromised position there. Because really, all Peanut could do is try to force a 50-50, but as long as Panda reads it correctly, he's just going to slot it into the net. So really, Peanut put in such a dire straight there, and just like that, in a blink of an eye, we're back to 2-1 for Fearless Esports, as Starscream has to get up to this one. Now Messi, what can he do? He takes control, gets a flank with no power behind it, and will be put out to the side. Imp though, good speed on that. And Starscream will clear it long, tries to find Pluto, can't quite reach it on this time, and now Peanut will have to get out again. Imp out, trying to clear it, but as you can see there, Fearless getting those challenges in. They're doing a fantastic job of shutting down these potential attacking chances, as they're Peanut able to get a 50-50 on that. But you can see here, Fearless Esports playing a bit more, I would say a lot more aggressive than before. They're holding down that midfield, and really any loose balls coming out, they're having it dealt with. And Up the Dale, as a result, their chances to attack, to get those shots on net, are severely limited currently, and they may concede yet another shot, as it is Peanut out to Messi on the side. And now really Messi, what can he do with this? Not a whole lot. Imp going in as well, and really with 2 minutes left to go, it's not looking great for Up the Dale. You've got to do something huge to try and break their opposition down, and that's exactly how you do it. Messi getting the shot and the bump attempt. No bump was needed though, it was just enough to put off the defender, and there you have it. It is 2-2 now, Moz.
Yeah, I mean, so not Mr. Pluto, but Pluto passing an awkward ball down to Mr. Messi. Mr. Messi able to take that opportunity and slot it up. I mean, kind of that back and forth banter between both these teams faded. It was inevitable. We had about 5 shots to 4 and then 6 shots to 5. Just there was always a player catching on the one end, driving it all the way downfield, and then catching on the other end and doing the opposite. And so, it just seemed like it really was inevitable that we're going to see one of these teams be able to get a shot on. And of course, Pluto again, not clearing as well as they could from those corners. We saw that previously with Starscream did the same. I think if Fearless can clean up, how they clear a ball from their corners and just from their back line and get it out, then they don't allow Up the Dale to score. And of course, Mr. Messi says thank you. I'm going to read it like a cheap book and drive that one home. So again, we've got the equalizer here, 4 goals on the board, faded with a minute time left. It just seems to be a very fantastic ballet here with it, just back and forth, and we might go to another overtime.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind another overtime. It would be great. 3 in a row is what I'd like to see. And really, I was thinking that this one might not even go to overtime because Fearless Esports were looking more dominant. But despite that, Up the Dale able to find these chances, and as soon as Fearless Esports again they get a poor clearance in their defense. So this is a poor touch in general. Up the Dale are right on that, and they're able to get a goal from it, even with the lack of shots. So as we see Pluto now with the air dribble, and force the 50 out. Starscream coming in. Big defensive stand there from Mr. Messi, as they have 20 seconds until it is going to be overtime. As now Imp gets it down to Peanut. What can Imp do? It might actually be an open net. The demo comes through and it is saved. Still, final chance. Panda, good speed on that to get the clearance as Messi on his own in defense. Got Imp now back. But now with that clearance that Messi was making, it does give Fearless yet another chance to attack. This may well touch the ground. Peanut does not want any more regulation. They need that reset. And we're into now our third consecutive overtime of this series. May not last long though. Imp there to get the save.
Yeah, Imp just been phenomenal once again at the back there. Panda taking a very, very early shot. They're trying to blow out this OT here in already 11 seconds. And as you mentioned, to the third consecutive one, you know, it's great. You know, we saw these teams beating Emerge, Charlie, and Serious Business respectively faded, and it just shows, you know, we're gonna go the distance here. I mean, you love to see it. Let's bring on game 4. You know, I don't care who wins. This is going to be good Rocket League. And, you know, I hope we get a deep OT here as well. Maybe let's go for about a minute and a half of extra time and see what happens here. Because, you know, both these teams aren't really allowing the other just to break their last third and get in. Oh, Pluto, beautiful save. Just Imp is everywhere. Just gets the save and then drives a huge one like that home. Or at least attempts to.
Yeah, he's, you know, been instrumental in this series. Though I will say in this game, he's been a little bit quieter for his up the Dale side. Messi's really stepped it up, and this one getting the 2 goals that you know up the Dale needed. And so really now it's going to be a full team effort from up the Dale, as Messi's put in quite a tough defensive situation. He does get out of it though with the assistance of Peanut. It's a demo on that midfield. Imp though buys loads of time, so up the Dale can recuperate. Peanut now coming into play, plays it downfield. Starscream missing that, so gets Imp a chance. Finds Messi in the infield. It is contested. Now Panda up. Peanut easily beating him though, and now Starscream has to get the clearance again. Imp, can he get this double touch up the corner wall? Unfortunately not, but Peanut now enters the play. And now Messi comes in, so now some pressure for Up the Dale. Can they get a goal out of this? Seems to be no. Pluto will have the clearance, and I think Up the Dale, they are content with letting it go for now.
Yeah, if any of these previous games are anything to go by faded, then it should be Up the Dale that will be able to take the OT, as we did see Fearless picking up the previous game in number 2. So, you know, is it going to be Imp scoring a nice one down the center again, or at least Mr. Messi or Fiddy P able to take a little bit of the limelight away from him? We're going to see what happens here, but already 2 1/4 here on the board. So already there's 7 minutes total of game time. I mean, both these teams pushing it all the way, and I think that was Panda or Pluto trying to sink it home and get the dunk. Wasn't meant to be. Starscream in the middle of the field here, faded, not able to send it home either. There just needs to be one small crack in the defense of one of these teams to allow it to go in. It just doesn't seem to be happening here. The saves are absolutely on point here. I think everyone's going to pick up a save here this time around. At least everyone on Up the Dale already has. So, I mean, it's defending like no man's business.
Yeah, the respect for Up the Dale, it just seems to be like their whole life at this rate. They've had to do so much defending, but they've done it brilliantly for the most part. Not seen many flaws in it. There has been awkward moments here and there, but they've been able to pull themselves out of it just barely. And you know, it does show there's still improvements that can be made to this Up the Dale defense. If they can correct those small errors that can potentially be capitalized on, and they'll be golden. As Peanut had a chance, but he just puts it just wide of the net. But still, they have the pressure. Messi finds Peanut infield again. Starscream will cut him out. There's a Messi big touch, nearly in again. It's off the post. Imp dives into the play. Now counter-attacking chance for Fearless Esports to the backboards. Panda may have it, but Peanut gets to it. Now counter-attack again for Messi. Hat-trick hero for him. They're able to get it, and Up the Dale find themselves 2-1 up in our series.
Oh man, and you know, Faded, it's so sad to see just when everyone from Fearless Esports was so committed and they just were too far up. And Mr. Messi, of course, was able to pop that one over and just send it home. And of course, you know, as I was saying with the, you know, history doesn't lie to us. Up the Dale pick up the opposite OT winners. So, you know, we've gone Up the Dale, Fearless, and back to Up the Dale. So, you know, is that going to be the trend going all the way through the games 4 and 5? I mean, I'd love to see it.
Yeah, I would love to see it go all the way to effect. If this pattern that you've pointed out here, Muzz, continues, then I think we will be able to go that far. Of course, we put our bracket behind a little bit, but I don't think many of us would complain. We want to see more of this Rocket League action. So we'll see how this game goes here. And I can't imagine Fearless are, you know, a bit on their toes, shall we say. You know, you go all in on that final play, you get punished for it. So now you find yourselves, you know, with a point where you've got no lives left and you've got to put everything into this game here. Otherwise, you are going to be eliminated from the upper bracket here. You still got the lower bracket to go through, but you ideally want to be heading on to the upper bracket. And this may not be the way to start. Your imp could get that on target. It's just high. And so Updale already trying to start on the right bit here. Peanut with the double tap opportunity too. So Updale really wasting absolutely no time on getting started in this one, but now things will calm down a little bit. Messi attempting a shot, but Fearless Esports do seem to have things under control, at least for now.
Yeah, well, let's see how it's going to go down in the Coliseum. I mean, these are 6 gladiators here, essentially, on the field faded. And I mean, they just seem to be doing crazy work. 3 consecutive OTs, tons of saves, even more shots being put out by each team. You know, they're just not able to get the best accuracy in the world, and they're always going for the post for the most part. And even Fiddy P should have closed out that game earlier when he missed it and went on that near post. So, you know, that was kind of a little sad to see. But, you know, let's see what's going to happen here. Game number 4, a lot of kind of decent action between both these teams. And I think, you know, some good sportsmanship as well coming out here. No dunk for Fiddy P. Imp, third man from Updale, not able to come through there.
And they are not quite able to capitalize on that chance to get another opportunity. Messi putting one into the box. And now we see Imp. What can he do? Down to Messi. Easily blocked out again. Updale really on the pace now with this game. After spending so much time in their own half last time, they are able to push themselves in more, and that's perhaps where they want to be more comfortable. But Fiddy P, huge miss for him, but a double commit from the side of Fearless Esports. They had a massive chance to potentially get a goal there, as now it's not coming in again. Does get the bubble with Starscream, but a bit too late there, and now Imp coming through, really trying to put this pressure on. They do let it go now. Pluto clears it down to Peanut. He puts it back into Messi, and what can come of this? Not a whole lot. Pluto now up for this again. Now we see Imp bring it forward, and it's now back to the midfield battle like we've seen before. Panda though has a clear shot. What a save from Imp. They have to clear it off the line. It is going to bounce out anyway. Huge chance, but Imp yet again stepping up. What a save he had to make there.
I mean, there must be nothing more frustrating for a Rocket League player than when that ball sits 1/3 of the goal line. It just does not able to go into the back of the net. You know, unfortunately, Fearless Esports just trying to pick up another early goal, and this time we goalless here already halfway through, and that's just nothing we've seen in the previous game so far. Faded. Both these teams definitely fighting tooth and nail to try close out the series. Dunk from Panda. Oh, that's an awkward direction.
Indeed, it was quite awkward for Panda there. We're still 0-0. You know, I would say as the series have gone on, the games have gotten closer and closer in terms of scoreline. You know, it's quite a long way from that first game where it was a 4-3. Now 0-0 with still a couple of minutes to go. But yeah, again, anything can happen. Updale could close it out in this game. Fearless Esports could take us all the way. It's now Updale. What can they do with this one? It is Messi to try and get a touch. And now Pluto coming into this one. Just close it as long as Imp though. He will get it into the center, but no one going off this yet. Panda off the corner wall. No.
I mean,
Imp do.
I think we might just get a 1-0 faded. It's going to be one of the very slower games we've seen so far, especially with it being scoreless at the moment. And you know, whether that goes to Updale, Fearless Esports is going to be great. But I think it's only going to be a 1-0 to take this one home. Hopefully that does go to Fearless, so we can just get that game 5, you know, Champions Field. But you know, we'll have to see. I mean, just kind of back and forth, almost a ping-pong match between both these teams. Oh, Starscream doing decent work. They're holding the ball on the halfway line.
Doing a good bit of work there, giving Fearless Esports a potential chance. 50 seconds to go. Fearless with the pressure right now. That's a poor touch from Messi, so opens the door for Fearless is still not able to capitalize just yet. And so Up the Dale survive for now. Another shot from Starscream, but it's just in vain at this rate. As I Pluto bangs one long. Peanut into the side wall, not ideal. And just get another chance for Imp on that ball. Very proactive, shutting down any potential chance. It's Up the Dale now looking to potentially survive for overtime number 4 in this series. Drag this out even longer as their Imp trying to go for this. Peanut up, but Pluto beats him to it. Now Starscream clears it long and really Up the Dale. He's want to survive this, but it's not the best touch from Messi. Will do though. And now 2 floats up the Dale. This is so dangerous for them because Starscream can keep it up, and Messi grants the chance to make the clearance. What can Messi do? We puts the ground. We're into overtime number 4 here. Every single time being sent the distance. And now we'll see, can Fearless Esports survive in this series? We're Up the Dale advance here.
Oh, I mean, there's no way you can script this, right, Faded? I mean, 4 consecutive overtimes in the first series of this evening. We haven't gotten through even to the rest of the upper bracket run yet. I mean, my goodness, both these teams are just absolutely fighting to drag it through. They're going to play B plus choke, by the way, so they are waiting comfortably with a very nice break, while these teams are absolutely just gunning for each other here. Imp trying to send it long. That's going to go wide, unfortunately. Yeah, 4th OT, my goodness, as well. Pluto had a chance earlier to get a dunk, and it didn't materialize there. So I think kind of opportunities galore for both these sides, Faded, and they just don't seem to be able to sink it home. I think, we're going to look at shooting accuracy at the end of the day, and I'm sure it's going to be sub 50%. Just a lot of wide balls, and misses, besides all the very decent saves we've seen come out from both sides as well.
Yeah, sub 50%. I think it's going to be way lower than that at this rate, especially for Fearless Esports. They're looking to be, I think the average for RLCS players at least is something around the 20s, something like that. I feel like it's even going to be below that range because a lot of these shots have been either going wide of the marker or being saved. Especially the side of Up the Dale, they're able to save so much. Their shoot percentage may be a bit higher because they don't had, as many looks to the net as Fearless, but they're still able to put the goals away. But at the moment, they find themselves in defense. Messi get the clearance, but it's looking more and more like Fearless Esports are starting to get comfortable here, but they know they're just one goal away from being out of this if they concede. And so they're the ones that really want to make these attacks count, as at the moment they have a good grasp on that midfield, which is good news for them. They may have another chance. 3 defenders went up for that Up the Dale, a bit uncharacteristic of them, as our Starscream having a chance. It is the goal wide of the net. Now Imp has a huge chance. Messi gets that mid boost as well, which is massive for them, and now they can maybe flip the tides in their favor as our Peanut off the wall and the ceiling gets it away. Now Imp has Messi upfield. Can he make a chance here? Messi bails though. He knows he's beat on that. And now awkward bounce for Imp. It's going to be closer to try to take it downfield, but now 2.5 minutes into this, and you're going to start to see a bit more noise. We already have seen them from Up the Dale was. Some of those triple commits starting to come out as Messi drops it in. That's a mega play. Imp able to play up on it, and that is it. Up the Dale are going to be taking the victory and advance to the winners final.
Yeah, I mean, Panda immediately left that match. Just thought, after such a gut-wrenching series, Imp to close it out. It's what we've been talking about for kind of half the series here. Faded. Imp's played such phenomenal Rocket League. Of course, Mr. Messi would pass it down for Imp to score that. Fiddy P, he's been that solid third man. He's been, playing, Rocket League with the lads. But my hat is going to go off, of course, to Mr. Messi and Imp. Playing phenomenal Rocket League here for Up the Dale. Faded. Well, they finally go through after 4 overtime fixtures.
Yeah, they do. You can't get any closer than that, can you? Maybe we went to a 5th game, but my word, every single match going to overtime. And in the end, it's Up the Dale that were able to hold a nerve and get the victory, and well, way to close it out as well. But we can't waste a whole lot of time here chatting. We've got more games coming up. Up next on stream, I can tell you, will be Sue Rosti 1 Bratwurst up against Hamoud in Pool 2 winners final to see who will make the playoffs tomorrow. So we're going to take a little break, but when we come back, we'll be having that match for you. So stay tuned. Don't go anywhere.